We respectfully request the Sangha great virtues for the sake of this assembly and all living beings. Please turn the wonderful Dharma wheel to teach and guide us how to end birth and death, leave suffering and attain bliss, and quickly realize non-birth. Cung thính đại đức thẳng thinh, vì thứ pháp hội cấp nhất thiết chúng sanh, tịnh chuyên diệu pháp luân giao đạo ngã môn, như há liêu sanh thoát tư ly khổ đắc lạc, tất chứng vô sanh. Homage to the Blessed, Noble, and Perfectly Enlightened One. Nam mô Sa Đôn Tô Sư Chế Đô Ye Ở La Hư Đi San Mèo San Pu Tô Xie. Nam mô Tát Đắc Tha Tô Ya Đà Ya A La Ha Đế Tam Miệu Tam Mô Đà Đoá. The unsurpassed, profound, subtle, and wonderful Dharma in 100,000 million aeons is difficult to encounter. Now that I'm able to see and hear, I will receive and maintain it. I vow to fathom the thus come one's true and actual principles. Wu shang sheng sheng wei miao fa bai qian wan jie nan za yu wo jin jian wen de shou qi yuan jie ru lai zhen shi yi. O Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Great Master Ching Liang, Great Master YongHua, all good monks and nuns, and all good known advisors, Emitofuo. 诸佛菩萨精良大士，师父上人，各位出家人，各位善知识，阿弥陀佛。Chư Phật Bồ Tát, kính thưa Thanh Lương Đại sư Thượng Tiến Hóa, quý thầy cô và quý vị thiện sĩ tất cả Di Đà Phật. Hello everyone, today is the 25th already of October 2024. The year went by so fast. What happened to summer vacation? Never mind. Thank you all for joining us here at Go Force at this discussion of the prologue to the Avatamsaka Sutra. I think Master YongHua was the only one who talked about it, and after that, no one dared touch it. Okay. We're going to touch it for a little while, and then we drop it. Because it's too much. Have you thought about it? Is there a way for us to do a skip at the beginning of every video, like in the TV, Netflix, when you watch a movie, you skip, the introductory part? Can we do that? Okay, I just thought of it. But I'm glad you're here. Thank you all very much. I'm glad to be back. Yes, YouTube has a question. As you see, you should feel free to ask questions anytime about anything you like. Okay, it's interactive because that's, to me, that's the only way that we can all learn about Mahayana. Mahayana is life. Mahayana is supposed to serve you. It's to be of interest to you. It's not about knowledge, this and that. Yeah, that's for scholars. Yeah. Scholars, let them do what they do. They get paid. We don't get paid, so we don't care. Anyone? Yes, YouTube, go ahead.
지구지구님의 질문입니다. 안녕하세요, 마스터.
안녕하세요.
지난번 멀리서나마 뵐 수 있어서 기뻤습니다. 결과부자한 지 얼마 되지 않은 햇병아리입니다. 제가 자도 수행을 해서 깨달음에 이를 수 있습니까? 그리고 한 사람이 깨달음을 얻는 것만으로도 세상에 이익이 되는지도 궁금합니다. 그렇다면 어떤 이유로 그러한지 궁금합니다. 어리석은 질문 죄송합니다.
Hello, Master.
It must be XM2. Yeah? Ne? XM2? No? Who is that?
지구.
질문은 지구지구님입니다.
It's not XM2? Oh my God. Okay, never mind.
마이크는
Okay, go ahead.
I was very glad to see you last time. I just started sitting full lotus. And I'm wondering if the layperson practice, can I get enlightened?
The layperson can get enlightened?
Yes.
You can, but I have no chance. Too old. How old are you? No,
이전
serious?
질문자가 질문을 이전 법문에서 질문하신 분이라 질문을 다시 할 수가 없습니다.
This question is from the last lecture, so we cannot ask him.
Yeah, you can ask anything. It doesn't matter. No, you can ask. You can ask about anything.
No, we cannot ask his age.
Oh, it's not live?
Yeah, it's from the last week.
But the person who read the question, who is it?
Venerable Shenmin.
SM2, right?
Yes.
That's what I meant. I'm the most misunderstood monk here. You know why? Because I was so happy. I said, wow, I was stroking my beard. And I said, Because I don't know what happened, but I think she improved after I left. I should leave Korea more often. Can you see the difference? Can you hear the difference? No? Oh well, it's my imagination. Go ahead. So never mind by the age. Go ahead.
So the first question is the lay people can get enlightened. And the second question, if a person get enlightened, does it benefit the world? If it benefits the world, what's the reason?
Cannot, after you become enlightened, you cannot what?
Benefit the world.
Cannot beat the world.
Benefit.
I'm sorry, I'm a little bit hard of hearing. At my age, I have a lot of issues. Yeah?
The enlightened people can get benefit, can get world better.
Get what better?
World better.
Word better?
Yes.
What word? What word? Oh, world better. Why do the questions get harder and harder? Okay, first of all, enlightenment is not reserved for anyone in particular. Any of us can become enlightened. And by the way, unfortunately, I hate to admit it to you, even non-Buddhist people can become enlightened as well. Okay? And because a lot of people are enlightened, they're not even Buddhists. And they're not even monks. They're even higher levels than monks. That's what's so sad about it. It makes me feel like not continuing to be a monk because, what's the point? You just go and eat and drink, have hamburgers, drink Coke, and you become enlightened. And you make money, you become enlightened. So, truthfully, anyone can become enlightened. Okay, and so there's two classes of enlightened people. Again, any of us can become enlightened. Man, woman, child, anyone. But there are two kinds of enlightened people. There are enlightened people who, I forgot what two kinds already, okay? I forgot. I'm so sorry. Okay. I come back to it when I remember. Okay. But enlightenment is not reserved for anyone. Anyone can be enlightened. And what's question number 2?
So enlightened people can get benefit world?
If they want to. Sometimes enlightened people, a lot of enlightened people, there are two kinds of enlightenment. The enlightenment, there are small enlightenment and big enlightenment. It's not what I forgot. It's just I just came up with two other things to fill the gap. Okay. The small enlightenment, which is the 4th stage Arhat or Pratyeka Buddhas, they are enlightened, they are special, they're called enlightened because there's a bottom line about enlightenment. You need to be able to suppress your ego. Okay, meaning that you can enter the state where your ego is non-existent. That's a state of enlightenment. Okay, and that's what the Arhats and Pratyeka Buddhas are able to do. There are plenty of people in the world who are like that. Monks, nuns, and lay people. There's so many. Actually, in our temples, there are a lot of lay people who are enlightened. That's what's scary about them. Okay? And the other kind of enlightenment is big enlightenment where you actually are a bodhisattva, where you have prajna wisdom, meaning that it's a kind of wisdom that's above having no ego. Okay? The sound hearers, the Hinayana people, they can become enlightened because they have no ego. Okay? So it's a very cool state where you get into that state, they enter this samadhi of no ego, and then what they do, everything they do is from wisdom. Meaning they're free from self-serving motivations. That's why it's enlightened. Wisdom, wise people are the ones that are not self-serving, ultimately. Okay? Unenlightened people are only self-serving. Okay? So that's why these enlightened people are very special. There are plenty of people in the world like that. All sorts of people who are enlightened because they achieve a state where they can live normally like us, and then when the need arises, they will suppress the ego, okay? They become zero, and then whatever they do, whatever they say, is not motivated by selfish pursuits, selfish desires. And that's a state of wisdom. It's a wonderful state of wisdom. Actually, that state is a very happy state. Because you worldly people don't realize that the ego is the source of their sufferings. All their sufferings is from the heat and the afflictions caused by their own ego. It's not because of the parents. It's not the parents' fault. It's not their husband's fault, the boyfriend's fault. It's because of their ego that torment them. Manic people would say, it's her fault. It's my wife's fault. I told her not to text Master Xin, but she keeps on texting, so I'm going to divorce her because that's an ego talking. You understand? You manic people blame others, okay? Because manic here, tickles your ego, and then notice that, folks. They tickle your ego and make you feel important, make you feel you're right, and they're wrong. Someone else is wrong, so therefore you blame others for your afflictions. Okay, and so if you know better, you realize you're afflicted. Okay, no matter how right you are, how righteous it is, how justified it is. Who is afflicted? Who's angry? You. There's an ego there. Instead of blaming your wife, husbands, stop blaming her. You should find her adorable, that she is so evil. She sends us mean texts to people. It is so adorable. Okay? It's not her fault that you are afflicted. She's just being herself, her evil self. Okay? So, stop blaming others. When you're afflicted, the enlightened people have the option of saying, oops, I am afflicted. I am miserable. And whose fault is it? My own, because I chose to be miserable. Please keep that in mind. You receive training here so that you have the option. Okay? You receive the training to become enlightened so that after you become enlightened, and we tell you so one day, given the proper incentives, we will monetize this. I assure you, children, all you monks and nuns, don't worry. I find a way to monetize it eventually. Okay, but the point being that you will be trained to become enlightened, and we will tell you so that, let me say it never mind, okay. Make no mistakes about it. After you declare enlightened, you have the option that you can choose to blame your wife or not. Yes, your wife is evil, but you don't have to blame her. People can be so adorable. It's the same woman you loved years ago. Okay? Now, after you become enlightened, you realize, oh my God, she's actually very, very evil. She's always been this way. Of course, it works for women, husbands too, by the way, girls. So don't worry, it works both ways. It's a two-way street. Okay? So, you have the option of saying that, oh my God, it is so bad, it is so mean, it is so evil, I told you not to do that, and so forth. But no, you should realize that you are afflicted and you're blaming others. Okay? And then when you realize you're afflicted and you deem your label in the class of enlightened, you have the option, you have the responsibility, okay, before you hurt someone, to turn off your affliction by entering the samadhi with no ego. You ask yourself, you enter the samadhi, you realize no one's afflicted, no one's angry, no one's blaming anyone. That's what you're supposed to do. Okay? Does it help the world? What's the answer? We don't care. There's no one to help the world. But it alleviates the pain and suffering. Because what happens to life is that we get into fights, we escalate. I get afflicted, I blame you. You afflicted, you blame me, and it's escalation, back and forth and back and forth. In a very small way, we don't add to the misery of the world. Does it help? A little bit. Okay. If you cultivate a little bit more and you become enlightened at the level of bodhisattva, yes, for bodhisattvas, eventually, at the higher level, not low level bodhisattva, low level bodhisattvas are actually terrible. Like today we talked about Confucius. I feel it's low level. But anyway, the Chinese will disagree with me. Yeah. What do I know? Okay. They got afflicted when I criticize their Chinese sage. Oops. Okay. But the point is that enlightenment has many, many levels. At a low level, your sphere of influence is smaller. Okay. Whereas at a higher level, your sphere influence is much bigger. That's why, for example, in the Avatamsaka Sutra, in the first chapter, we talked about the world rulers, who are the beings up there in the heavens, who are ruling over their domains, their empires, okay? And those are actually special individuals. They're special mahasattvas. Mahasattvas are bodhisattvas who have high level of wisdom. And see, that's what they do. At high level wisdoms, bodhisattvas naturally only benefit the world. That's how you become Buddhas. So the short answer is absolutely. Bodhisattvas, from low level to high levels, okay? Low level bodhisattva, we have to remind them, we have to slap in the face, beat them up, to remind them, go benefit the world, idiot. Okay? And they say, but I am. I say, it's not enough. Okay? So, absolutely. Even some relatively high bodhisattvas are too busy sauntering around, having a good time, flying back and forth, having a good time. And every now and then we have to slap them in the face and, hey, get to work. We don't save you for indulging in yourself. Does it help? Yes, YouTube.
Thank you, Master. There's a YouTube question from Bante Panyo.
Of course.
Dear Master, Bante Panyo. Maybe I mispronounced his name, but that's how it's spelled.
Mm-hmm.
Dear Master, concerning states of enlightenment, could you explain the differences between the Theravada view of 4 stages of enlightenment versus the Mahayana system of 4 stages arahants, and how that relates to Bodhisattva stages?
Absolutely. Thank you for asking the question. I don't know much about Hinayana, so I only speak from very limited perspective. I never really studied under Hinayana teacher, so please forgive me if I say things are inaccurate from their perspective. From our perspective, when the Hinayana talked about the 4 stages of enlightenment, for them, it's probably referring to the 4 stages of arhatship. First stage, second stage, third stage, and 4th stage. It's fairly well documented in Mahayana. Actually, Mahayana teachers, Mahayana patriarchs have very good descriptions of those stages. For example, the sixth patriarch explained those stages very well in Chinese, in his Chinese teaching, his teachings in Chinese. And so the 4 stages are considered to be enlightenment in Hinayana, but in Mahayana, we only look at the 4th stage arhatship as a state of enlightenment. That's why I started, and I'm very grateful for you asking the question, that enlightenment from Mahayana perspective is about lack of ego. There's no self. The 1st stage to 3rd stage arhats still have a self. So therefore, they can be tripped. They can really not be taught. Where the 4th stage arhat, when the 4th stage arhat or people at a level higher than that, when they are learning, they can go into their samadhi of no ego, and that's when they can absorb a lot more, and they can make progress a lot faster. Okay, they're special in that sense. So that's why in Mahayana, we don't look at 1st stage, 2nd stage, 3rd stage as enlightenment, because they are still kind of dense, if you will. You explain to them, they don't get it. That's as far as I know about the 4 stages of enlightenment in Hinayana. But if it's not fair to say that only 4 stages, actually there are 5 stages. There's also the 5th stage where the enlightenment level of the Pratyeka Buddha from the Mahayana perspective, where it's higher level wisdom than a 4th stage arhat. So if you will, for Mahayana, we have a 4th stage arhat here, and there's a bodhisattva level which is like out of sight. And then the Pratyeka Buddhahood, which is higher than 4th stage arhat, but it's still very low relative to the wisdom of the bodhisattvas. The 1G, first ground bodhisattva level wisdom, is so far away, it's out of sight. You can't even see it. Okay. Even with the, what do they have now? They don't have Hubble anymore. Do they still use a Hubble or? Yeah. What's the best one right now? Am I the only one who's interested in astronomy? You guys are the most boring people in America. Anyway, so that Hubble, telescope there, they can see the furthest, physically furthest possible. Okay, you will from a 1st stage arhat, you can use a Hubble telescope. You can't even see the bodhisattva. That's how far away it is. That's how difficult it is. Incredibly difficult. James Webb, the latest one? Yeah, the Hubble thing is shot down, right? And we let the Russian blow it up. All right. And so I hope that answers your question. No? And so this is, and the major difference between Hinayana enlightenment versus Mahayana enlightenment is that Hinayana enlightenment stopped too prematurely, unfortunately. Okay, that's a shame. They should go. And it's a lot more fun, it's a lot more rewarding. Yeah. 4th stage arhat to 1G, first ground bodhisattva, is very far away, and you cannot call it great wisdom. Okay, if it's not so much better, so much more wonderful, beyond your imagination. Even arhats can have no clue on how wonderful it is. And that's why, and that's what's a shame with Hinayana practitioners. They're just missing out on so much. Okay? Yeah. All right, YouTube.
Sorry, Master, there's no question, but a reply from Bante that yes, you answer his question.
Okay, thank you very much. Yes,
Thank you.
number 5 here.
So, Master, you were saying that the enlightened person, they enter samadhi and they're not afflicted.
Yes.
In Korea, I think you explained in the sutra talk that the bodhisattvas, they're always peaceful. They don't have to enter samadhi. Could you explain more about this?
I'm not sure how I can explain that, because I'm not a bodhisattva. Is he referring to a different thing? The bodhisattvas, in principle, they are free from afflictions, but they choose to be afflicted. And they choose to be afflicted at various degrees of afflictions. So, for example, a bodhisattva fundamentally is free from afflictions. But when they engage in the world, when they look for a wife, you cannot not be afflicted. You understand, boys? Okay. You need to be afflicted to connect with people. When you're not afflicted, there's a wall between you and your children and everyone else. You in a cocoon. Okay? And that's what happened to Hinayana people. The 4th stage, Arhat Hinayana, they said, you are trouble, you are trouble. Money is of no value to me. Red cars, it's a joke. Okay, and therefore I said, I don't need any of you. I'm perfectly happy by myself. And what it means is that they put themselves in a cocoon, okay, in the 4 walls. They said, and they feel so happy. And what they don't realize is that the bliss they experience is nothing compared to when your wife really harasses you. You find it funny, huh? It's the truth. Honest to God. And so what happened to Bodhisattva is that they choose to be afflicted on purpose in order to connect, in order to build the world, help build the world. Okay? The fascination of a painter to create a masterpiece, whether it's Rodin, okay, whether it's Picasso, okay, or the crazy guy, Dali, is that right? Spanish people, Salvatore, okay, or my favorite, Van Gogh, the crazy guy, okay? Those people, their creations are based on afflictions. you realize that unless you're afflicted, you cannot really help. When are you going to wake up to that? First of all, when you're not enlightened, you better learn how to control your affliction. Okay? Because when you are afflicted, you are not clear-headed. You make the wrong decisions. Okay? And you sink. What happens to people who are confused is that they sink lower and lower and lower. Enlightened people are different in that they can be afflicted, but then when they realize they're afflicted, they can have a choice to stay afflicted or not afflicted. Contrary to the books that the scholars read and all the great Buddhist disciples of the world who are so knowledgeable, who say, oh, arhats are free from affliction. Yeah, but not all the time. Okay? This is why they need a real page chart to explain to them instead of just reading the words on the sutras. Okay? So anyway, so these enlightened people are very, very different from us in that they're afflicted, but when the time comes, they have the skill. It's a skill, folks. Very much like you learn how to ride a bicycle. Oh, no, I prefer driving a car. Okay? And so they have the option of putting an end to all their afflictions. And in order to do that, they put a wall between them and the world. They disconnect from the world. Because the world is suffering. The world is affliction. So they have a choice to separate themselves from affliction. Okay? So that's why enlightened people are a very special breed. And again, the first stage arhat to third stage arhat, they will reach a limit and they cannot put an end to the ego. They still have a problem. There's things will trigger them off, and there's nothing they can do. Whereas a fourth stage arhat, they can simply, that's it. They cut off themselves from the world. They disconnect from the world. There's nothing you can do. Unless you're Bodhisattva, then we can do things that Bodhisattva can do to fourth stage arhat and Pratyeka Buddhas that you would not believe. Okay, it's part of the Bodhisattva's fun. But anyway, so that's the fourth stage arhat. Okay, Bodhisattvas are much different kind of enlightenment, where fundamentally they have no affliction. But in that state, no affliction, they can also be afflicted to you. They appear afflicted to you. Uh-oh. We're not going to get to lecture tonight, folks. You're going to gossip. Yes, too.
Emitofuo Master, but so the Bodhisattvas, are they pretending they are afflicted, or they get really afflicted because they want?
It's not pretend, it's real. You to say the Bodhisattva pretend to be afflicted, it's like Master YongHua. I look at him, and when he yelled at me, I know he's very angry. It's nothing fake about it. Get up! I say, what? Where are you? Can you show up, please? He's very angry. He's so angry of a man. I'm amazed. I'm shocked. It's just between us, okay? You don't talk to me like that. Even my mom doesn't talk to me like that. Okay, God save us all. But he's so angry. Okay? You cannot say he's not angry. No, he's very angry. You can't convince me he's not angry when he talks to me. Because I have to believe it. If when you teach someone, here's a problem. I know some of you are mothers or some of you are fathers and so forth. Can you teach your child by pretending to be angry? Can you? Oh, wait. Can you teach your boyfriend by pretending to be angry? No. Your boyfriend will eventually catch on and say, oh, she fakes it. She's a faker. No, you can't. In order to teach people, and Master YongHua said, I was preparing the lecture here, and you won't even let me get into my lecture. Thank you. It's funny, later somewhere in his lecture here, in 1000 something, 59 or something, okay? I usually prepare 40 slides ahead of time, by the way, hoping I can go through them and finish as quickly, okay? But no, I don't have such luxury. Anyway, I'm not complaining. I'm just afflicted, that's all. So, the bodhisattvas, okay, Master YongHua says, the bodhisattvas, okay, their affliction, he says himself, the affliction of the bodhisattva, I'm pretty sure he talked about himself, because he's a mahasattva, not just a bodhisattva, he's a mahasattva, mind you, okay? Only mahasattvas would know what he knows. But anyway, only mahasattva can scare the hell out of me. Okay? But anyway, he says himself, I cannot scare my disciples unless my anger is real. So it's a different world. I don't know how to explain to you. You say, is he afflicted? Yeah, he's afflicted. But then from his perspective, he says, no, it's fake. But actually, I have to do it so that it's real to you. Therefore, I have to be real. So it's real and it's not real. Does it help answer the question? So it's not the way you think, if you will. And this is why, hey, we have a lot of new people coming, and I will report it to you. Well, I'm never reporting to you right now. I have new people coming, and the one thing I keep on telling them for the last 19 years is not the way you think. It does not have to make sense to you. It's for your own good. It's your training. Okay? Because I keep on telling people, if you knew what I'm trying to do, I can't help you. It's impossible to help you if you know what I'm up to. I know what you're up to, but I can't tell you. Okay? And you don't know what I'm up to. I'm talking from Master YongHua's perspective. Okay? None of us understand what he's up to. By the time I realize what he's up to, he's dead already. He says, I don't need to pull over your eyes anymore. Anyway, where are we? And that's the nature of our Dharma discussion. We go north and south and east and west, all over, up to the heavens, down to the hells, and dead people, and future dead people. to be that soon? All right, we are 10:29. Believe it or not, it's in the context of 3 realms of no peace. It's just like a burning house. This is fundamental Buddhist wisdom. Basically, it says 3 realms is where we are. Okay, the Saha world has 3 realms: form realm. First desire realm, form realms, and formless realms. Okay, so what we do as a living being, we cycle through this world reincarnation, changing bodies in these 3 realms. Okay, or the 6 destinies. All right, they have no peace. When you're here, when you choose to be here in the Saha world, okay, there's no peace. So fundamentally, the nature of our existence is the lack of peace. And this is why smart people, people who have blessings, crave for peace, not red cars. If you understand that, okay, then you have wisdom. Okay? And not only peace, but it's also like a burning house. Okay? Because a burning house means that your life is in danger. It's suffering. It's not as much fun as you think it is. And that's wisdom. That's Buddhist wisdom. Okay? That's why it's not for everyone. It's very tough on Westerners in particular, like Nacho, from the land of the bullfighters. Okay, they have a hard time accepting this. That fundamentally, you don't have to agree with this, but how about, let's talk about you're disagreeing with it. If you disagree with it, that means you have no wisdom. If you agree with it, then you're phony, you're a liar. Okay? But in general, the Westerners, okay, they're, in all their training, in all the knowledge they're able to achieve, there's one thing is lacking, is that they find no peace. What kind of peace are we talking about? We're not talking about Putin. We're not talking about, let's not do politics. Okay? What peace here we're talking about in your head. Okay? Your wife yells at you, your wife does wonderful things. Okay? You're still at peace in here. That's the kind of peace we're talking about. And that's the standard of excellence, if you will. Okay? Ordinary people, they're called ordinary because they experience no peace here at all. To the point where they have to knock themselves out at night so that they have a semblance of peace when they sleep. With no peace, even in that state. Only through cultivation, only through training, can you find peace in your mind, in your heart. Okay? And that's what he says in the 3 realms. If you live in the 3 realms, there's no peace at all. Doesn't matter how rich you are, doesn't matter how smart you are, how good looking you are. Okay? Doesn't matter. You cannot find inner peace because you don't have the skills to enter, to establish inner peace in your mind, in your heart. That's why. And furthermore, it's a burning house because basically you're in danger. Impermanence can come in any moment. That's what a burning house means. You have no control over your life, ultimately. Okay? And the Master YongHua says here on slide 1029, and if you want to regain control, you want to get out of this danger zone, you have to work hard and cultivate every instant and learn the skill of purifying diminishing desire. Okay, he says, don't worry about this. It's very Chinese. Okay. Basically, he's saying that the Buddha, in his great wisdom, taught us that. He says, you guys are suffering. I know, if you believe me, then there's a way to do it. There's a way for you to find a way out of all your suffering and be in control of your life instead of being a victim of life. Okay? And these are the fundamentals. It's hard work. It's not easy. We all have to work for it. No one's to give it to us. Even Buddhas cannot work for us. They really want to help us. Bodhisattvas are prepared to die for us, but only in the condition that you will work hard to help yourself. It's hard work. There's no two ways about it. And it's funny, people keep on telling. I went to K-Land, someone asked, an old gentleman, much younger than me, I asked him, why do you Buddhists always seek to sit in full lotus? It hurt like hell. Because if you endure it, that's called hard work. It's not supposed to be easy. Why it has to be hard? Because your ego is a cop-out. He wants to seek the easy way out. And if you only choose the easy way out, and say, ooh, nice, then you are under the control of your ego. You're slaving for your ego. That's your ego, you see. You are not free. You are serving your ego. Thank you. Can't do anything, you would not imagine, you cannot believe the kind of photos people took of me. And you wait until Sunday, I show you a photo. They're so proud of catching me in that moment. I'll tell you right now, it's a photo. Can you have that photo? Can you show it on the screen? The photo at the coffee shop near Cheongju, where Master XC was there, and I was standing there on the edge, and I would show you, and we'll see it on Sunday in the report. I show you my true belly size. Most of the time I walk around like this, but at that moment I forgot, so and there's so many such photos. It's so sad. that my own disciples are traitors. You don't realize it's so difficult. You have to suck in your stomach all the time in front of people. You cannot be yourself. Okay, it's hard work, I believe. Okay, and that's what it means. Like cultivate every single instant. Got it? And you cannot be distracted and learn the skill of purifying the mind. Okay, purifying the mind here. Purifying. It really used to bother the heck out of me. Say purify your mind, pure mind. It's all about a lot of Chinese jargon. Purifying your mind is that just purify your mind and diminishing desire. Okay. And that's part of purifying the mind. You see, the Buddhists, they talk funny. They can't simply say, don't think so much. But no, they have to say, purify your mind. As if it's so cool thing. You know, what are you doing? I'm purifying my mind. It's so Chinese. Okay. It used to drive me up the wall, purifying my mind. Just tell me what the heck to do. I don't know how to purify my mind. My mind's so dirty. Just tell me, do I use soap? Huh? Do I use Windex or what? No, purifying my mind. Diminish my desire. And then when I hear diminishing desire, you know what happens to me? I say, oh, how did you know? Now I have to hide my desires. Jeez. And for Chinese people, it makes sense to you, right? Hey, Chinese person. It makes sense to you? It bothered the heck out of me. Why can't you tell me? What is it, you know, in plain terms, what diminishing desires mean? To this date, I still don't get it. What's diminishing desire? Huh? Drive a 10-year-old car. That's diminishing desires, no? Oh no, you still desire to drive a 10-year-old car. You see, you can go either way, okay? What's diminishing desires? It's referring to the fact that where we are is desire realm. We desire things. Watch out, okay? Because the more desires you have, it's not good for you. That's all it means. Pay attention. All right? Men in particular, when they have a lot of desires, be careful. You know? Anyway, okay, so it's not easy to escape the three realms. True, when you don't know the way to do it. That is. Why is it that is here? And the translation, these people are really weird. Okay, it's not easy to escape the three realms when you don't know what to do. That is. Chinglish. Anyway, so you don't know how to escape the three realms. There's a way. Okay, it's very simple. It's not as hard you think. Okay, what's difficult is that you're not willing to work hard. You don't see your suffering. That you are suffering. That's why. That's why in Buddhism, especially here in the West, until a Westerner or a person here sees the suffering, whether it's depression, whether it's lost love, whether it's a child running away from home. Wait, that's not suffering, is it? Anyway, all those things, until they suffer, Buddhism cannot help them. Would you believe? With all the wisdom we have, Buddhists cannot help you unless you realize you're suffering. You cannot teach them. You cannot help them unless they realize they're suffering. So don't try to help people. Okay? If your wife sends evil texts and nasty texts and she feels that she's happy doing it, there's nothing you can do. All right? And so, once you know the method, you can escape from them. Ancient Agatha, okay? So once you know the method, you can escape from them. It sounds obvious, isn't it? You know, you try to escape, and now you know the method, you can escape it. Okay. The ancient Agatha, okay, the 6 desire heavens all have the 5 signs of decay. The heavens of the 3rd dhyana have the disaster wind. Even if one cultivates up to neither thought nor non-thought, is not like, again, Chinglish, going to the west and coming back again. It makes sense to them, you know. And he's going to elaborate on this. It's wonderful. Trust me, it's so wonderful to study this because you appreciate the depth of the Chinese culture. It sounds funny to us, but actually it's very profound. Okay, their way of saying it is very Chinese, but bear with us because it's very fascinating how the Chinese people think. Okay. So he's going, they have wisdom that we don't, and Westerners don't. Okay? No matter how smart we are, no matter how advanced our technology is, and no matter how advanced AI will ever become, it will never be able to match the Chinese wisdom. Never. That's how profound the culture is. Okay? But that's job security for a lot of AI people. Where we live right now is including the 6 desire heavens, all of which experience the 5 signs of decay. Although they are discussed elsewhere, we may as well repeat them here for those who are not familiar with them. That's you, okay? Right? All of you. For people who once knew them, they were what they were but have forgotten. They may also be people, you see, he's very verbose. He said, let me tell you the 5 signs of decay. And if you remember, if you know, correct me, okay? But no, they have to go through the whole paragraph, okay? So what are the 5 signs of decay? Floral wreath wilts, clothes become dirty, body begins to stink, armpits begin to sweat, cannot remain in your seat. Okay? Those are the 5 kinds of decay that the gods have when they are about to die. The gods live for a long, long time. And Daniel Carrasco, I noticed him right there in supporting the pillar in WMT Buddha Hall, and he's snoring away. Get tired of supporting a pillar. Is he suffering or is he happy? I'm asking you. Who says he's suffering? We all know he's suffering because he's Christian. Anyway, okay? So, up there in heavens where there are lots of gods, where there are lots of gods to live, and they have a lot of fun, okay? And it's so desirable to be up there, and that they have what they call heavenly blessings. They don't suffer at all until the final moment of their lives. From the moment of birth, they're born, like transformation as a baby size, okay? Immediately, they don't have to go through, being strangled by the umbilical cord. Never, okay? Like that, they're born, okay? And then from that moment on until they die, they have no suffering at all. It's all pleasure. It's fantastic. If you think you're happy, you think you haven't made here, you ain't seen nothing yet. Okay? They look at us as suffering because they know they have no suffering whatsoever, okay? And they have a smirk in their face. They see you, poor people. Until the final moment of their lives, when they're about to die, the five signs of decay appear. That's when they cannot handle it. And would you believe the kind of suffering they endure, and that's also unbearable to them? So for us, what's unbearable to you? To me, it's Master Hsuan Hua yelling at me. I still have not been able to get over it. I feel it's unfair. Okay? So anyway, each one of us has very things that are very disturbing to us. Yeah? Okay, like losing a leg, losing an arm, losing an eye, losing on the stock market, losing your love, losing, loser. Okay? That's why we call you losers. And those are real suffering to us. If you ever been in love and you lost your love, now that is suffering. You know what we're talking about, yeah? You claim you're not suffering until I turn on the song. Một cõi đi về. And you cry immediately. Everyone cried. It's a beautiful song, and people listen, they cry. That is suffering. It's hidden suffering. That's during the ordination, recently, the last ordination at DTT. Okay? And so, you see, it really hurts, right? I mean, it takes a lot for people in our world to shed tears. Yeah? Okay? Let me tell you, my problem is not those things anymore. My problem is when I see a movie, I wish to shed tears. I say, oh my God, he suffers so much. That's my next problem. Only after Master Hsuan Hua is those sad movies. Anyway, it's not about me. It's about these gods. You see, for them, can you imagine the kind of suffering they have? I mean, you would not believe it. That's why this is a proof. That's why the lives of the gods are so wonderful. They don't have any suffering until a little bit of suffering. They go, oh, I can't take this. This is too much. Does it sound familiar? Does it sound like anyone? This is too much. Okay? The gods naturally have a flower thing on top. Okay? Thing of Jesus. But it's flowered, not the thorns thing. Okay? And so they all have this flower arrangement on top of their head. The flower appears from nowhere. It's always fresh. It's always beautiful. And actually they change with these seasons. they change colors. And the fragrance changes too. So it's fantastic. It's just like their personal ornament. They don't need Gucci, stuff. They don't need those hairpins that you guys wear. No, it's a flower arrangement. Is the name is a standard, okay? So depending who you are, the flower arrangement in the flower crown they had differs, depending on your level of blessings. Okay, so they're very special. But by the time, they're very proud. They look at them. It's like every morning. Some of you might identify with this. Every morning they look at themselves. Oh. Oh. It's a God complex. So that's part of their joy. So when one day they look in the morning, they look and the flowers kind of start wilting, so, oh my God! And it's unbearable to them. Would you believe? For us, we just replace it by another one. No, they say, oh my God, this is the end of my world. They cannot take that kind of suffering. Total nonsense to us. So they ain't know what suffering is yet, right? But for us, every day, for what we suffer every day, compared to them, the flower crown wilts and they can't take it. Seriously, they cannot handle this suffering. They go berserk. That's because in their entire lives, they don't know what suffering is until the smallest mishap, like one petal of flower falls off. And they say, oh my God, Mommy, look. Next. It's not just one sign, another sign. Next sign, that's even a little bit worse for them. This is first level affliction, they go berserk here. Next level, the clothes become dirty. And they say, oh my God, look, you would not believe how many spots I have on my. Anyway, the clothes are always clean, never had to be washed or dry clean, okay? And now all of a sudden the clothes become dirty and they go berserk. Next sign, the body begins to stink. Okay, and Master YongHua explains a lot more here. The Chinese and they know in great details. It's fantastic. They begin to stink. The armpits begin to sweat. No matter how much. What do you guys use? Secret? We use Gillette. Okay. I try both. I prefer secret. Anyway, the armpits begin to sweat. No matter how much deodorant and antiperspirant they put on, they sweat like a pig. Okay? And finally, this is very important for you. Not remain in one seat, meaning that they cannot sit still. The gods, by the way, unlike us, when they sit in full lotus. And that's the secret, their secret. When you sit in full lotus, you are the most peaceful inside, more than you were in full lotus. Agree or disagree? When you sit in full lotus, okay, your mind calms down. When you unbuckle, your mind, it's like it's being released. It's going, oh! Lloyd. True or not? I know. I said, don't say anything. Anyway, so the point being that it's very fascinating to learn from the heavenly beings what's puts them in a better state than we are? One of the secrets is that they sit in full lotus, and we don't. So when they're about to die, they can no longer sit in full lotus. They can no longer be at peace. So they have to get up. They have to stand up. They can no longer sit still. They become agitated. All right? And Master Hsuan has a lot more to say here. About to die. The gods wear on their heads, don't crowd air, appears spontaneously. Formerly beautiful and crowns, precious jewels were kings on earth. If here flowers all dry up, wreath falls from your head. Up to that time, flowers are always fresh and lovely. Until the wreath disappears. Okay, so you see, he's very detailed about this. But what's important for you to remember is that what's fascinating is that flower wilt for us is no big deal. We expect our flowers to wilt, but not them. And there's so much suffering. It's incredible to me, okay, that they call it suffering. We're much tougher than the gods, let me tell you. Comes dirty. Next sign. They have heavenly raiment, so their clothes, by the way, they're much better than piana. I know you guys don't wear piana. See, they look, you know piana? See, no cheating. Look up piana. That's what Jeff Bezos wears. Yeah. And what's her name? Sanchez? I forgot her first name. Oh, they're my idols, by the way. I wish I could be as rich. Anyway, and retire. So the best garments we have in this world are like rags to them. Nothing to them. The piano has this incredible fabric. Okay? It's very difficult to procure in the entire world. And they're like rags compared to heavenly garments. Okay? So the heavenly garment, look at Jeff Bezos wearing piana, and those people, those tycoons who wear piana, and the other, I'm not even bringing up Cucinelli and all those things, They sneer at them. You see, what's so special about you? You're like paupers. And the clothes they wear, okay, the fabric are incredible quality, okay, and the fit is perfect. It's like having, for us, it's like having Mr. Armani dress us every single day. You don't know Armani? Armani has the best jackets, V-shape. But he cuts it so perfect, it hangs perfect. I just don't like the baggy pants. Anyway, so these heavenly garments have a perfect fit for you, okay? And don't have to do any dry cleaning. New, they never wear out. until the end of their lives, the 5 signs of decay appear, they get dirty. And they are so afflicted. Yeah, I mean, the heavenly beings, they fly down here. You know that. They come down here with us. And they go and participate in our daily activities. Their clothes don't get dirty. That's how you can tell they're heavenly beings. Have you seen one? I never seen one yet. It's just theory. You guys are so boring. You always take everything literally. I can't believe it. Mom never taught you anything. Yeah. And so even if they wash their clothes, which they don't, by the way, and they have no cleaners up there, so that's why they're afflicted. They say, oh my God, I have a spot here. There's no washers, no dryers, no dry cleaner. What am I gonna do? And they get crazy. Poor gods. Gods always smell good. Bodies give off a kind of fragrance because they have pure conduct. They don't break precepts and they do good deeds. Okay, the 5 precepts they don't break. They practice some good deeds. When you do the 5 precepts, you have the fragrance of 5 precepts. 10 wholesome deeds. You also increase your fragrance as well, and therefore they always smell good. And at the end of their lives, they begin to stink like cattle or goats, like fish. Okay, so it's fascinating. The gods come down here and they eat lobster, they eat steak, and they fly up there, and they don't stink. Okay, they eat garlic, they eat onion, they don't stink at all. Fantastic. You guys eat garlic and onion, you walk by some. Fascinating. Wouldn't that be cool? That you go down here and eat anything you want and you don't stink at all. That's what they do. Yeah. And so they smell and they can't stand it. It's funny because it's such a personal level. The smell, the body smell. And they take it for granted. They're supposed to smell good. And when they don't anymore, they begin to smell a little bit, they go berserk. You see, so with all, the big picture is that all the enjoyment, the fun they have on their entire lives, what do you think? Will you say, oh, I'm so happy every day? No, every day to them is the same. Yeah, they have fun. They have fun. They have fun. Every day is fun. Until the very end, that's when they cannot take any sort of suffering. Okay. And then also the armpits perspire. Okay. So they sweat, okay? They sweat like pigs, okay? And then finally, the 5th sign is that they can't sit still, so they agitated. Yeah. So Master Shino is very detailed. You can go through these slides if you want. It's available online somewhere. Okay, and he's very detailed. He talked about it, and so I just I don't have a lot of time left. I need to finish here today. They have these 5 signs of decays and won't be long before they die. And at that time, when the 5 signs of decay appear, the gods suffer tremendously. It's like unbearable to them. The point being that we all have the kind of suffering that are unbearable to us, okay? Doesn't matter who you are, whether you're here or up there, eventually we all suffer, okay? And we can't take it, okay? And even when you get to the third dhyana heavens, eventually your heavens will be destroyed by the disaster of wind. Okay, and therefore that's when you fall from heavenly realms to lower realms. Okay, and he says even though you fall to lower and you get to the highest level heaven in our world, the heaven of neither thought or non-thought. Okay, that heaven right there, the bliss they experience is incredible. Okay, and the Chinese wisdom is that even though you get up there for heavenly bliss, it's very, very desirable, but it's nothing compared to the bliss you experience when you go to the Western bliss Pure Land. It's true. Okay? And I don't know why they keep on saying coming back again. Why you go there? Why would you want to come back? I would, I'm so glad she's still here. I'm leaving. That's sweet revenge. Okay. That's when they suffer. Okay, and they have no one else to torture and torment. Anyway, okay, that's Chinese wisdom, if you will. Time is up. Thank you. Next time, 10:42. Good night.